Coach Bruce back with you here. During this module, we're going to actually talk about the air brakes and the chain cassette cranks, what I call the drivetrain, and the importance of making sure that those get looked over before every practice. Now, the people that you're working with should have the capacity to do this before they even show up. So if you take the time during those early sessions to teach them how much air they need, to make sure that they can check their brakes and that their drivetrain is functioning soundly, it'll reduce the time that it impacts your session, as well as the potential for trailside malfunction, which will definitely throw the group off. Remember, this is important for everybody to know, and you can't possibly know what everybody's prescription is. So take the time to teach them so that you don't have to do it yourself. Starting with the air, you're going to have people show up with different wheel sizes and different tire types. Each wheel size and tire combination has its own air prescription. Again, your job is to teach them what they need and what they should be looking for the ride that you're going to be doing for that particular session. If you're riding on paved trail, obviously you can get away with a higher pressure. If you're going into the grass or onto the dirt, you want a little lower pressure. So teach them how to push into their tire so that the contact patch expands enough for the traction that you're going to need for that practice to keep them safe and to have a good time. Moving from the air in their tires to the brakes, what I like to do is just make sure that they're able to pull the brake levers in with single digits, and that the back brake works by pushing the bike forward and employing that back brake lever. You should be able to see a drag on that back tire. Likewise, deploying the front lever and dragging the bike back, the tire should lock up and drag along the surface that you're dragging on. Now, not every brake is going to work perfectly, and we got to expect that our clients are going to be showing up with different levels of maintenance. We can be successful even if everything's not perfect. So if you're doing a wheel spin and that brake rotor's rubbing just a little bit, but the brake actually works, not a big deal. Remember, not everybody's going to have a perfectly functioning bike. Your job is to make sure that it actually works, that it's employed in the right way, and that when you get out on the trail, they're not going to be a liability. Moving on to the drivetrain, we want to make sure that when you pedal backwards or when you pedal forward, that all of the gears are hitting. So as a coach, if you can hold the bike up for the person that you're working with and pedal through while they hit the shifter, have them shift all the way up the cassette and all the way down. Now again, just like with the brakes, they may not all be working perfectly, but they should work to a level that you can be successful for the ride that you're planning on. Also, make sure that the chain is lubed and that there's no real kinks or hitches in that chain as you pedal through. If there are, take the time to fix those before you go out on the ride. That'll save you a lot of trailside frustration in going out, and save the group a lot of frustration as well. So once you've checked the air, the brakes, and the tires, also give a good inspection of any other moving parts. So seat clamps, quick releases, or through axles, and big time make sure that those front tires are installed correctly and that they're not loose. I also like to check and make sure that the headset and the stem are nice and tight, and then the seals on any of the suspension. If you see any oil or some lube, take note. Again, that can impact the ride as well. So just an overview of all of the things that are important for the bike to function properly when you're out on the ride. Again, teach them ahead of time to check all those things, and that'll save you time during your ride, and also make a more optimal experience for them in the brief time that you have. Make sure that gets done ahead of time.